Namaste and welcome back. We are on episode 2 in the series of Astrology Wonder. The first one was on Manglik and the myths around it. This one is on transit and if they do affect the world. Let's discover. So, transit, or we also call it gochar in Indian language. What is transit? Transit is a position of planets as of a certain day, maybe today, for example. So, like we know, planets are constantly moving, and at any given time, if somebody is saying what is the transit today, it's the position of planets in the sky as of today. So, theoretically, planets are constantly moving. A birth chart is a snapshot shot of your planets at one particular time. This movement in actual, when you are reading a birth chart, can be understood like planets moving from one house to another. So then it becomes more clearer to us when we are actually studying the birth charts. Also, a basic fundamental planets move anti-clockwise. Rahu and Ketu move clockwise in the planetary situations. So I have covered a full chapter on twins and why being born on same date, place and time, they have different destinies. It's just like a race, though they are all almost a second apart, but everyone's end result changes the moment they are they are born. So this guy will have a very different end result compared to the next and the next and the next. So it's the same for twins. Why twins born on the same date, time, and place have different destinies? Because it's a classic example of transit. The planets have transited from the point the first child was born to the second child. The planets have already moved because they are constantly moving. So every second makes a difference. Let's also understand another fundamental that all houses, this is the South Kundli, ascendant is here, so we'll go this way house-wise, and for the North Kundli, we'll go this way house-wise. So every house is 30 degrees, so you add up 30 here, 30 here, 30 here, total it accounts to 360 degrees. So 30 degrees here, 30 degrees here. So basically you have to understand when the sun is at a certain degree, say when you're born, it is at 10 degrees, maybe in this house, it'll take almost 30 degrees to complete before it moves to the next house, and so on. This is an important chart. You have to by heart it. And Gochar time is same as transit time. So sun takes 30 days to move from one house to another. Moon takes 2.25 days. Mars takes 1.5 months. Jupiter takes 1 year. Venus takes 25 days. Saturn 2.5 years. Rahu and Ketu 1.5 years. So if you notice, except for Jupiter and Saturn, it's a little longer. The others take almost practically a month, like Sun, Mars, and Venus take roughly a month. Moon takes 2.25 days to stay in a house. So if you want to remember it by heart, that is one way of doing it. We'll take an example birth chart. So to understand this birth chart, we will look at all the planets. This child was born when Ketu was in the ascendant, Saturn was in house number 3, Sun, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter. 4 planets for this person is in house number 5, Venus and Rahu, and we will ignore 5, 7, sorry, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, and Moon for this person is in house number 12. Now, what happens when this child, after 30 days in transit? In transit, Sun would have moved here because it takes 30 days to Sun to move from here to here. And in this, it will move from here to here. Let us take Moon. Moon for this person is here. 2.5 days later, if you see the transit chart of this person, the Moon, you would see it here, or in this case, here. Let's take one more. Mars for this person 1.5 months later would have landed here, in this case here. So a small exercise you can do, you can look at your birth chart and look at your transit chart, say today. Of course, a lot of you, depending on your age, a lot of years have gone by. So you can look at what your sun's position is today compared to your birth chart. And you can probably, if it's too complicated, you can just look at the moon. Say, look at your chart today, the transit chart, and look at your birth chart, and watch 2.25 days later, has the moon moved in your transit chart, and you'll understand. Similarly, you can look at sun and moon and Mars and Mercury and Jupiter and Venus. And if you have a lot of patience from your birth chart till date, you can actually calculate. Like you can start with sun and say, okay, after every 30 days, if it's moving, so if I'm 21 years today, where should be my sun be? Of course, it's readily available, but as a concept, if you want to understand, you can manually check it as well. A small quiz. If you see any birth chart, you will see Sun, Mercury, and Venus will be in houses next to each other or probably in the same house. It is very, very normal. So the main reason is because Sun, Moon, and Mercury, their transit times are very, very comparable. Within a month they are. So if Sun is in 30 days gone to the next house, Mercury is just behind it. Within 1.5 months it will also reach. And um Mars, sorry, and Mercury is a little ahead because within 24 days it has moved out. So these three planets in most, or sorry, all kundlis or birth charts, you will see them either in the same house or one or two houses away from each other. It's a very interesting observation. So are there any transits which impact the entire world? The answer is yes. And what could be the transits? So most likely it is Jupiter and Saturn because they are planets which take a lot of time to move from one planet, one house to another. And obviously you've got used to a kind of life, and then there is a major planetary change, and there is a major change in the world, and obviously something major has happened. So if you look back in any analysis, you will see that these two planets play a major role in having worldwide impact situations. Some examples could be COVID, wars, or worldwide epidemics, or sorry, area-wise epidemics, pandemics. All these, if you see the pattern, they are definitely impacted by Jupiter-Saturn transits. If you still have any questions on this particular topic of transit, it's a very important fundamental in astrology. Do not hesitate to comment for clarification, and I'll make sure I respond. Thank you and have a nice day.